Salam everyone, my name is Ali. I'm from Toronto, Canada, born in Iran, Isfahan. I came here to Toronto with my family back in '93. I've been here for over 20 years and I work in the field of advertising as an art director. And as an art director, I work on various projects, be it from print to TV. And I'm a practicing Muslim and I volunteer with my time with different groups in Toronto. And through what I do, my field, I utilize it to help different groups in Toronto. So it's a phone call from Dennis. Dennis is he's the chairperson for this program called Out of the Cold, which takes place in a church, Yonge and Eglinton area, and they feed the homeless. Dennis has been doing it for 22 years with his crew. So from, I believe, from October till March, they have this program called Out of the Cold, which is a weekly program. I do it on Saturday nights, and it changes from a church to a synagogue to a mosque back to a church. So I've been doing Out of the Cold. This is my second year. House of Hope is an initiative that started with myself and Reza John Wadadi and a few other friends. Basically, we went to Karbala in April, and Reza is involved with many charities, especially with Noor Funds.
My name is Reza John Wadadi. I'm a filmmaker based in London, and I was tasked to film some videos for the charity to highlight the situation of the orphans in Iraq. The place we decided to visit because of our logistical locations was the orphans in Karbala.
When I went to Arba'in, I was really interested to go and see Noor Funds because I've seen his other documentaries on orphans. So when I went back in April, I asked him if I could go with him to Noor Funds' office.
And Ali was there mainly, I suppose, as support, and he really wanted to visit. And the interesting part is, Ali initially wasn't, his name wasn't put down to come with us. Another brother was put down to come. He wouldn't wake up in the morning that we were going to go. And Ali was adamant that he really wanted to come to visit the orphans. He said it's really something important that he wants to do. So I said, okay, go and see if the other brother, if he's coming or not. If he's not, then we have enough space in the car. I can take one other person, you can come with us. So he went up, he tried to wake up the other brother who didn't wake up. He was fast asleep in the hotel room. And that's when it was, I suppose you can say, destiny for Ali to attend and come with us. And I think truly Allah moves in amazing ways, because it's Ali's passion that came into this campaign that we decided to start after visiting the orphans.
We saw different families, 3 families to be specific, and that really affected me and changed my life from then, my perspective on just my life in general back in Toronto. Myself, Reza, and other friends, we decided that, you know what, we need to do something about this. So we decided to go back to our own countries, UK and Canada, and come up with a program, come up with some sort of initiative to raise money to build a house for families in Iraq. So we thought of some names for the group, and after so many different names, we came up with House of Hope. Because that's really what they're looking for, these families in Karbala, in Iraq. That's all they have. They have hope to have a better life in the future. So we came up with the name. As an art director, I worked on various logos, different options. We landed on one. And then Reza and the other friends helped out with the Facebook page. And mashallah, we were able to raise the $10,000 and even more actually from different cities in the US and Toronto and in London.
So we were discussing this and we were sitting in a cafe in Karbala, and two brothers who were based in Saudi Arabia, they heard this story and they said, we want to help you, we want to contribute towards you, we want to support this. So then we realized that we have something here, that people care about this issue, they want to support. And it was then when 2 months later I had a trip in America, and we were going to 4 different states in America, visiting 4 different centers and discussing a project that I'd done before, a film about ziyarah. And I thought this is the best opportunity to reach out to the audience and to try and get their support for this project. So we took some items from the holy cities of Karbala. I took a flag, I took some rings with the marble from the shrine of Imam Hussein and the shrine of Imam Ali alayhi salam. So we took some of these items with us and we auctioned them to raise the funds for the house. And it's amazing how all of these things link up, because I remember I was sitting in a car about to go into this Islamic center based in Atlanta, the Khayriya Center. And one of the brothers that I knew from before, we went ziyarah together 2 or 3 years prior to this visit, he opened the door, because he had heard the story of what we're doing. He opened the door and he just said, take it, take it. And I thought, what's going on? So he gave me something in my hand, closed the door, and he went and he goes, don't tell anyone I've given it to you. So I won't mention his name, but I'll mention the deed. And I opened my hand and there was about $1,000 in cash in my hand. Now this person didn't want anybody to know it was him. He didn't want anything in response from me. His sole intention was to serve God and to make God happy. So I realized that people are out there who want to help. And so we were really encouraged with this campaign. And I think from going to the different centers, from auctioning the items and the money that was given to us, we raised something like $5,000–6,000. Now our target was $10,000, so we were really close to the amount that we wanted to raise. So now Brother Ali was raising funds in Canada. He managed to get, private personal donors to contribute. We did some other fundraising. I believe Sheikh Hilli offered to do Umrah on behalf of people when he was in Hajj. So they donated and then he did Umrah on their behalf. And I think we surpassed the 10,000 mark and we even went above that. So this showed us that if there's a will, there's a way. If you make the effort, then Allah will provide the blessings and He will send you the funds so you can support this family.
Okay, so now we're inside the church in the basement, and in the background is the kitchen where the volunteers come an hour before the doors open, and they prepare food. Whatever the food is for tonight, they cut it up and get it ready. And then we have tables for the guests. So the guests come in, they get numbers. As you can see, we have beds on each side. So a lot of our guests they don't have a place to live, so they're literally homeless. So when the doors open, they register and they get a number if they want to sleep over. So they come down, they pick a bed, put their number down, and then they sit down for dinner. And then when it's dinner time, they line up and they get served. And the dinner is always great. It's very healthy. And then after dinner, there's dessert. And then after that, they dim the lights and then the guests go to bed. The following morning, there's new volunteers
and they serve breakfast. They get subway tokens, and then they're gone to the next shelter for the next meal.
Every time I work with the Muslims charities or with the Christian charities, I feel really good about myself. I feel connected. I feel like when I'm talking to the needies, when we're feeding the homeless, for example, it feels really good to help somebody else. And I feel connected. I feel in peace. And it's like every time you don't commit a sin, you feel like you're connected to God more, you're closer to God. It's that kind of a feeling. And you want to do more of it. But I feel like the more I do, the more I feel closer to God. But the more I feel obligated to help out. I feel like I have a mission here and you know what, I sometimes don't think about like the sawab that, it's going to help me in the next life. I'm thinking, you know what, there's a person who needs help. We need to help this person, because I'm fortunate. I'm so lucky. Allah has been so good to me. And there's this person who doesn't have what I have. So I kind of forget about like the sawab and all that stuff. And I think about like, you know what, from Monday to Friday, Allah has blessed me so much. I open the door, I have a place, I have a roof, 4 walls, and there's a homeless person who doesn't. So during the weekends, I feel like, you know what, God has been so good to me from Monday to Friday. I need to give back. I need to spend a couple hours and give back. So this is a clothing room. There's all sorts of stuff for women and men, from jeans to shirts, undershirts, and jackets, winter jackets. It's really cold in Canada, so we have a variety of different clothing, and they always need new winter clothes to be donated. So what I usually do is I come in before 6 o'clock. I come in, get a name tag for myself, and work with the organizers.
Oh, sorry.
We wait for the guests to come in. Outside this room, they line up, and one by one, we ask them what they like. They come to us, and we greet them, and they tell us what they need. And so I rush back, and if they need shoes, and let's say there's a male guest, and he's looking for shoes number 9, for example, I run over here and look at the shoes that we have, and then maybe he's looking for a winter jacket. I come here, grab a couple of options, and then go back and kind of lay them out for him to see if he likes any.
Imam Hussein alayhi salam gave his life for us. Not just his own life, his own family's life, to protect Islam. The Islam that we have is because of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, and he sacrificed everything through his blood, through his message. He just gave and gave and gave and gave. And he's a role model for many of us, not just the Shia world. He's a role model for every human being in the world, from any background. And we need to continue that. We need to keep his name alive. And that was the inspiration for all of us, the children of Karbala, the angels of Karbala. We need to support them. So when we started this project, we asked Imam Hussein alayhi salam to help us so we can succeed. And inshallah, he will help us more with the upcoming projects, inshallah. Imam Hussein is global. He's not just for us. He belongs to everyone, to every community, to every Muslim, to every Christian, to every Catholic, to every Jewish person, to every Hindu, and the others. I mean, you know, he's inspired the Gandhi and the others like Gandhi. It's our job to keep Imam Hussein's name alive and to make sure people know of Imam Hussein. Who is Imam Hussein? What was his message? Why did he live? His path, his mission, his goal. Why do we go to Karbala? Why do we do the charities that, you know, we do? Like back in Toronto, when I came back from Karbala, you know, that also inspired me to do more volunteer work, to do more charity work. So in Toronto, I work with the Muslims in Toronto, but I also volunteer with the Christians. And I do it because of, you know, we need to give back. No matter if the person is Muslim or not, we need to give back. We need to help each other. And what I do when I'm with my Christian friends and when I'm volunteering at a church, I try my best to show my best side, the Islam that we should be portraying to others, not the Islam that they see in the media. So all I can do as a Muslim is try and be good, show my good side, so they can see, oh, you know, Ali is a Muslim, you know, he's not like the other Muslims that we see in the media. And I really like that. I want to, inshallah, I want to keep doing that. And I encourage other Muslims to volunteer with other Muslims if you can, or with non-Muslims, so we can encourage non-Muslims to see the beauty of Islam through us, through our good actions. And inshallah, through that, they'll see the message of Imam Hussein, you know. We do this for Imam Hussein. So inshallah, they can see that. But we all need to do that, especially this age, this time in the world that we live in right now.
We all love Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And every time I come here, I really count my blessings that this is more like a reminder to me of how fortunate I am in my life. That's how I think of it. I come here as a reminder of how good I have everything in my life, alhamdulillah. But obviously the Ahlul Bayt inspire me and a lot of us, and I just try to do my part as much as I can, and that's about it. Because at the end of the day, you got to give back to the community that gives you so much, and we always need more volunteers. And the people here are so kind, from different backgrounds, different race, different color, and they just come in and volunteer and do good.
All the three families really touched me because they all have different stories. But what really touched me was the first family that we went to visit. They live in the end of Karbala, in the suburbs, in Wallahi, in the middle of nowhere. And what really touched me was how in the land of Karbala, families, we have families that are so, they have nothing and live in the suburbs of Karbala at the very end, where it's just desert, and you have the odd house. So we went to this one family, and it was really an eye-opening for me, coming from North America, coming from Toronto, where, you know, we have everything, and to see a family with a single mom with kids who just live in this tiny house that's just it's just mud walls, no proper water, no proper bathroom, nothing is proper, and all they have is hope. That really touched me. And then we went to see other families. I remember this one kid. We went to see this one family with 2 or 3 disabled children, and and a single mom. This little boy named Hussein, deaf, blind, couldn't talk, couldn't see. That really touched me. And you reflect on your own life and you feel like, wow, I'm here for a reason and I need to do something about this, you know. And how is it that in Karbala, in the land of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, people live like that? Really inspiring for me and the friends to do something about it. I'm really fortunate to have gone to Karbala and to have visited Noor funds and to see the orphans, because now I appreciate so much about everything I have. I think God wanted me to go there and to see the orphans and reflect on my life. Every time I walk into my own place, my house, I open the door and I'm reminded to thank God for every blessings that I have, and to complain less. Wallahi, we shouldn't complain. What we have is nothing compared to the kids and the families in Karbala, not just Karbala, but everywhere in the world. And one story that I have, the first time we went to Noor Orphans Funds, we met this girl named Ruqayya. Beautiful little girl with her mom, orphan. Their dad had passed away. And she gave me her photos, tiny photos of herself. And when I came back to Canada, I had totally forgot about it, but I was just cleaning my luggage and my wallet and stuff. And I found 2 photos of Ruqayya. I was like, wow, subhanAllah, like how did this happen? I don't even remember how I put them in my wallet. But then now I have them on my fridge, and I'm looking at them now, and that's a reminder of Ruqayya, people like Ruqayya who live in Iraq and in other countries, and she is my inspiration. She is the reminder of how fortunate I am, and that what a responsibility I have to look out for others. When I went to the second time when I went to Karbala for April, just seeing the orphans, that really inspired me. Before that, I was doing work with youth groups in Toronto. And alhamdulillah, I'm very thankful. Through that, I learned a lot about myself and about different youth groups, different communities. I'm Iranian by birth, but in Toronto, we work with different youth groups. The Lebanese, the Afghans, and the Khojas in Toronto, and the others. So that really built me up. I'm so thankful for that, and I thank everyone who inspired me and who helped me. But then I wanted to, when I went to Karbala and I saw the orphans, I was like, you know what, I want to do more, maybe bigger, more impact. So that really touched me. When I saw the orphans, I mean, how could you go to Karbala and see the orphans and then come back, you know, with no intention of helping out? You know, it's one thing to give money. That's okay to give money, but it means more when you take action, when you actually sit down with friends. And I got to tell you, we have another friend who she helps us in Toronto. She's a good friend of us. But then Reza and the others live in UK, so we organize meetings through Skype and through WhatsApp. And it's doable, it's possible, you can do it. But just seeing the orphans, seeing the slums, seeing the families, all they have is hope. And we come back and we have everything here. We live so comfortable. There's no war, there's nothing. We live in peace, in harmony. And that all of that really truly has made me into a better person, and I'm hoping that I get better and better and better and inshallah we can give more, because that's all we can do.
So after we raised the funds, we managed to have the house completed. It started with only walls and a foundation. Now it has ceiling, now it has roof, now it has doors, windows, now it has enough facilities for for a whole family to live there. So you have kitchen, bathroom, you have sitting room, you have bedrooms. There's tiling that's done for the walls. There's stairs leading up to a roof. There's a tanker for the roof. So alhamdulillah, we managed to finish the house. So this will become what is regarded in Islam as sadaqa jari, which is a act where for the rest of its life I receive, and all those people who contributed towards the raising of this house, blessings from God and reward from God. So it's a nice feeling to have that we done something. I put a small amount of effort in, people contributed really generously from their pocket, and we managed to raise enough funds that for the rest of our lives, now that we're not involved in it anymore, Allah will provide us with the blessing of supporting this house. So then we were encouraged to plan for a bigger project. So instead of $10,000 to be raised for the finishing of a house, we decided to, for the next plan, is to raise $20,000 to have the house built from scratch. So we have another family, we choose another family, provide them with the funding, with the support through a reputable charity to build the house from scratch. And then if that works out, then we do another one, and another one, another one.
I'm Dennis Bruce, and I'm a member of this church, Blythewood Road Baptist Church. And I founded this program, Out of the Cold program, here at the church 21 years ago. And we're still going strong, which is a bit of a pity, because one would have hoped that by now the problem of homelessness would have been solved in Toronto, but it hasn't. And it's very cold out there now, and we expect tonight to have about over 100 guests anyway. They come for dinner, we serve them a dinner, and we take 70 overnight. Well, from my perspective, I felt that this was a call from God to do this. It was not something actually that I really wanted to do at the time, but I just felt I had to do it, and that this was a call of God and I had to obey. But in putting this program together, it became apparent that this church couldn't run the program by itself. And so we had to spread our wings and invite others to come in and help us. We have other churches who come and make dinner and help us out. We also have a lot of other volunteers from the neighborhood, and they come from all kinds of backgrounds. We have several Jewish friends who come along. We have several Muslim friends who come and volunteer. And it's wonderful to be able to work together with people of different faiths, because in so doing, we find that our differences fall away, and we work together to help those who are less fortunate than ourselves, which I think is a call from God. As a Christian, we have to obey the call of Jesus. And he said very specifically that we must help the poor, that we must serve them, that we must carry on his ministry on earth. And his ministry in Luke chapter 4 said he came to bind up the brokenhearted, to set at liberty the captives, to help the poor and feed the poor, and so on. And if we're going to follow Jesus, then we are obligated to do that. That is from our faith perspective. Now, volunteers tell me that when they volunteer here, some of them have no faith at all, some have other faiths, but they all tell me that when they volunteer here, they feel something about this program. They feel that it gives back to them, that they get more than they give. That's been said to me a number of times. And I do believe that in our basement, when we let these folk in and we chat with them and and feed them and so on, that God is present. We can't see him, we can't reach out and touch him, but he's there in spirit. And I think this is what people, although they will not be able to articulate it, feel about the program. A lot of our volunteers come here, or people come and they volunteer, but they're intimidated by the homeless folk that come in here. They feel sometimes a little bit threatened because some of these guys are big guys and they have big beards and they're unkempt, although seldom unruly. But they are nevertheless intimidated by them. And I say, remember this, the people that we're dealing with are not some kind of underclass, but they are somebody's father, or son, or brother, or sister, or mother, just like ordinary people. And when you get to know them, when you sit down and chat with them, then you discover your common humanity. And that's what I tell people. You know, get to know these folk. Sit and chat with them. If you have nothing to say, listen. Listening is a great thing to do so that the person feels that you're engaged with them, because on the streets, they are nothing, they are nobody, and people curse them and walk by them. So to acknowledge them as human beings, to learn their names, to sit down with them, maybe have dinner with them, is a revelation to a lot of our volunteers.
I look forward very much to going back to visiting the family that we built the house for. I would love to go in and have lunch with them. I think that'd be so exciting to sit down and have lunch with them, or tea, because I just want to sit down and talk to them and see how their life is like now. They have a house that they can call a house, you know, it's theirs now. They have walls, they have a roof. And inshallah, we can meet with the other family and see the land where we're gonna build the next house. So inshallah, we'll get invited, and inshallah, we can continue doing this good work. And we look forward working with everyone who's watching this, inshallah. Please help us, we need your help. But I look forward to going back, inshallah. Imam Hussein, inshallah, will invite all of us to go.
I don't think for us it's important that we may be doing 10, 15, 20 houses a year, because at the moment we're not at that stage. For us it's important that we're doing something. It's important that when we go to ziyarah, when we go to visit the Imams, we don't come back and just get on with our lives normally. We have to come back and make extra effort in whatever it is we want to do. So if it's charitable work, we have to go out and actually do charitable work. If it's to be a good person when there's hardship towards us, you show kindness, and so forth and so on. So in this case, it's the charitable work that we're trying to emphasize the most. And I think that it's good that we give out small amounts here and there for sometimes for sadaqah or for other reasons. But what I think is important also is to get involved and take part in charitable efforts. Give some of your time as sadaqah to support them, because that's your skill, that's your talent. So giving that in is also counted as sadaqah. You don't have to just give money. Allah has given everybody an ability. You utilize it to support the charity that you want to support. That's the message that we want to give from this program. That's the message I think we want to give just in general by House of Hope. In our case, it's building a house, but in your case, it might be something else that you'd like to do.
For anyone who wants to help House of Hope, we need your support, be it financially, or for example, if you're a writer, message us, and inshallah we can work with you, or in any field. We can use other people to make things run House of Hope much smoother. And also financially, because we need money to build a house. The next house will require money, just like the last one. So we have a Facebook page. It's called House of Hope, and you can message us through House of Hope, and we'll contact you back, and inshallah we can work together. Please support us. We need your support. House of Hope needs your support. And most importantly, the people. It's not about us, the volunteers. At the end of the day, it's about the people in Iraq, the families in Iraq. We're obligated, no matter where you are in the world watching this, the lover of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, the lovers of Ibn Amir al-Mu'mineen, Hazrat Abbas alayhi salam, and the companions. We are obligated. Imam Hussein gave us so much. The Prophet, the Ahlul Bayt gave us so much. We need to give back to the other people, be it Muslims or non-Muslims. So please reflect, and we look forward to working with you, inshallah.